Hello, Scorpio, and welcome to Indigo Rising Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you're having a great day. This will be your weekly reading for the week of March 15th through the 21st. And during that time, we bring the the waning crescent moon in from last week. And that is about calm and stability and a good time for us to think about things that we might want to start changing when the new moon approaches, because that comes in on the 19th. So, of course, that's a time for a fresh start, new beginnings, a good time to learn a new skill or new projects or make new decisions about things, either outer or inner. So, depending on what's going on, we then move into the waxing crescent moon. And that's a time of heightened senses when we can start to execute those things that we've made the decision to move forward on, and just kind of work and plan and make the adjustments necessary. So, keep those moon energies in mind as we move through the week. This will be an intuitive general reading for energies that you may or may not encounter. So, as always, please take what resonates today and leave what doesn't on the table for someone else. All right, Scorpio, and your overall message for this particular reading is the end of a rough cycle, tough cycle. Sorry, I thought I said rough. End of a tough cycle approaches. Maybe rough also. That's why I faux pas that. Grab a drink real quick. All right, as I'm shuffling the tarot cards, Scorpio, my fun weekly reminder for you this week is that you pay attention to the whole world and universe when it comes to synchronicities. So this could be an animal that you see that you don't see all the time. This could be repeating number patterns. I always look up those angel numbers when I've been seeing 333 a lot lately, uh, just everywhere. And so I had to go look that up the other day. And what does that mean? And I write that in my little spiritual journal. So just all those things, but try to keep an eye out for those synchronistic things. It's like a whole other language, and once you see it, you cannot unsee it or unhear it. Could be things that you're hearing, and it's just, whatever's going on in your life, sometimes if you just let yourself see those things, there's little ways that offer you suggestions and help out there. So keep that in mind as you're going through your week. All right, let's get into this reading. March 15th through the 21st for Scorpio. The end of a tough cycle approaches, and your present energy right now is the Seven of Swords. So, something that is maybe going on with you in the communication or the mind realm that could be about being cunning or crafty. This could be about theft or hidden agenda. This could be something you are involved with or something that's kind of happening to you. So, you might want to analyze what that might be, or just take a look around. It might be a surprise to you right now that you're hearing that, but just make sure that everything's kind of on the up and up when it comes to things that you're involved with right now. And it could be that you're coming out of a tough cycle that involves something like this. And so, of course, this energy would be on your mind. Like, I can't believe that, there was some sort of hidden agenda that this person had over here. And you spend the week just kind of trying to work that out and trying to manage that. So, that does happen. So let's see what the cards say. Your current situation right now is that you are feeling a little bit confident here with the Nine of Cups. So maybe confident that you kind of caught someone in a something, right? So you thought someone caught someone stealing from you, perhaps, or having some sort of hidden agenda, or you're confident in something if it was something you were doing, because none of us are that innocent, right? There's things that can happen. Maybe you are confident that you caught yourself doing something and turned it around. So whichever way that applies, of course, tarot is a template. It can go either way and can apply to a lot of different situations when it's a collective reading like this. At the root of your situation is the Five of Swords. So maybe I see these cards in conjunction a lot. And sometimes, because swords are air energy, I think that this can also indicate thoughts that you've had on your mind, that you've maybe said a couple of things, and almost like a poker face card, that you've said a couple of things, but you left with the rest of those swords and didn't say everything. And then when I look at this guy here, I think this is a guy also who has thrown a few swords out, things that maybe needed to be said, but that maybe hurt feelings. And maybe they didn't need to be said, but they've been said, and feelings were hurt. So that's at the root of the situation, is maybe some exchange of words or ideas with some other people. So the fact that I'm seeing other people in there, could be that there's just others involved there. At the in the recent past here, is the Empress. So, you were in a place coming into this where you thought things were good. And it could be that you thought things were good with this entire situation, but something just went a little bit sour. With some sort of relationship, and this could be anywhere. This could be a friendship, this could be a work relationship, this could be a family member, just something where something has come to light and words were exchanged, I believe. So again, you're feeling confident that I think that this situation's over, but I feel like it's still on your mind. What is on your mind this week is, yeah, Four of Cups. So confident, but again, still kind of mulling. What's that rumination when you go through something that's a little harder and you're just thinking about it the next week, and your mind can get really distracted by that. Just because sometimes you're just in shock that someone did something or said something that seems so horrible to you, and you're like, wow, and you're just trying to figure out what to do with all of that information or the thing that happened. Sometimes journaling and writing about it, trying to meditate, even try to just clear your mind if you can. And that's a challenge. I know that's sometimes hard because situations like this can lead to, like, sleepless nights. It just kind of messes up everything. You don't sleep well, it's on your mind, you're thinking about it, just a little more stressful. So let's see what's just ahead of you this week. Look, okay, 10 of Cups. So you are confident that it's over. And yeah, let's try to find a way to get to this 10. This 10 is one of the happiest cards in the deck. So you're going to go from being like, I can't believe this happened. I can't believe this went on. These words are exchanged. So you need to find whatever way that is for you. And again, if it's meditation, now you're just watching these thoughts roll by. You're not engaging with them. That might be one way for you. Talking to a friend, a lot of times, just getting it off your chest is another way, just to get to where you're just kind of you're done with it and done thinking of it again. You're at the end of this cycle. It's not the beginning, it's the end. So it's kind of the wrap up. It's like, what do I do with all of these thoughts that I'm having about it? In your advice position is the nine of wands here. The advice is to go ahead, look back over, make the evaluation, and just decide you're not going to do that again. You're not going to make that same mistake again. Trust whoever this person was, or get yourself involved in that situation. Also, now we have 2 9s. So look up angel number 99, see what that might mean for you. And again, you're at the end of it. So I feel like you're definitely going to have a better week. As the week progresses, you're going to feel better and better about it. And in whatever way you do manage that kind of stress. What is beyond your control this week? There's lots of choices here with the 7 of Cups. So, and that's probably too, that's lots of choices too on how you're healing. Like I said, for some people it's meditation, get out in nature maybe a little bit. For some of you, get with a friend and talk things out, have a good time, do something to kind of just blow off the steam, really, the steam of the tough cycle. So you've got a lot of choices here, and that's not a bad thing to have. That's a luxury, actually. What is your secret desire? What you're trying to avoid here is the King of Cups. So it's either your secret desire to have a big understanding of the big picture of this, and not only with your involvement in it, but also the people around you. Just look at all the cups here. When we're looking, it's about communication, but also the cups, the emotional aspect of it. And so you want to gain that knowledge of, again, how to not engage in this in the future. And also not that, and either that's your secret desire to do that, or you're trying to avoid that. I hope you're not trying to avoid that, because these opportunities come up for us to have these learning opportunities, and that's where you learn. It's in the tough stuff, right? It's not in the easy things. It's in the things that happen that you can't believe, that you're shocked by. In your outcome position here is the Hangman. So of course this is going to lead you to a new perspective and a different way of looking at things, because you're learning. So I'm not shocked about that new perspective. And I think it's a happier perspective. Again, it's what are you learning, and what are you learning about people around you also. So let's see what's hidden from you here at the bottom of the deck is the Two of Wands, which is really thinking about the future. And this is kind of coming to a place where you've achieved a goal and you're not quite there yet. I think this new perspective, this is almost like learning, and you're going to put this aside. And again, these nines indicate the close to the end, and the 10 definitely represents an ending and a happy ending, for you. So that's not a bad thing. But again, use some of these choices that you have to find ways to manage this and to get it so that you do have a good perspective and that you learn something, because we go through tough things again so we can learn. Let's get a final message here from the Soul Oracle deck. Final message for Scorpio as they're at the end of this tough cycle and learning things, which, that's life. That's what's going on for all of us every week. Love your spirit is the advice and the final message there for you. So, yeah, if this was someone around you doing a thing, again, I feel like words were exchanged. You just have to love your own spirit, love who you are, and love that you're learning and that you're able to step back from the situation and look at it and gain that new perspective and learn something. All right, what does Scorpio need to do in the way of self care? Self care for Scorpio this week. And the card that comes out for you is authenticity. Live life for you, not the audience in your head. Wow. Love your spirit. Be authentic. Be you. Things are going to happen and you just gain a new perspective. So gain it, learn it, and just that's you won't engage with it again. Once you learn a thing, I find that the universe doesn't present it back to you. It's you've learned it and you get to move on to the next challenge. So that's the fun part, is there's always the next thing, what's around the corner. So Scorpio, thank you so much for being here. I do hope there was something in this reading that you can take away and use in a positive way in your life this week. If you're comfortable sharing, drop me a comment. Let me know what that might have been. Or if you have questions, I'll answer questions for you as well. Also, if you like my reading style, hitting like and subscribe, that makes me very happy. It just pushes me out in the algorithm, which I appreciate. But also, it helps you find me next week, which I think is pretty important. Come back and we'll see if this energy continues or if there's something completely new here for you then. So, thanks so much, Scorpio, for being here, and I will see you next week. Bye bye.